You're watching a reality check. In the countdown to the elections, at least 2 opinion polls have come out, both of which appear to be showing a broad convergence of what the outcome could be. Essentially, they seem to be suggesting that the BJP's hope to make big inroads into uncharted territories like West Bengal and Tamil Nadu might have to wait a while, even though the BJP will retain Assam and the left will retain Kerala. The BJP, though, along with its alliance partner, is likely to seize power in the tiny state of Puducherry. However, but the big states, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal, the BJP doing very well in West Bengal, but not enough, it appears, if these polls are to be believed, to be able to form the government despite its mega push spearheaded by the Prime Minister. Let's just quickly run you through the summary of what these opinion polls, one of them done by ABP News, the other done by Times Now, both using the same agency, C-Voter, have found. In Tamil Nadu, of the total 234 seats, the DMK alliance comfortably placed at 158 seats and the AIADMK alliance at 66 seats. This is according to the poll done for Times Now. ABP News, C-Voter showing the same range, DMK at 154 to 162, ADMK at 58 to 66, and of course all the other parties having no real significant change. Let's look at West Bengal, where again both these different surveys are actually showing that the TMC is crossing the halfway mark of about 150. The TMC is at 154 according to the Times Now poll, and between 154 to 164 according to the ABP opinion poll. The BJP doing very well, just skyrocketing from 3 seats in the last elections to over 100 seats this time, but that still won't be good enough, finds these polls. Let's just run you through quickly the other states, which, as I mentioned, again the polls seem to agree. In Kerala, it's the left front which is retaining power unusually in Kerala, which normally sees a rotation of power, and then moving on very swiftly to the other states which are also going to the polls. That is, of course, Assam, where again the polls converge in showing the UPA doing well, better in the Times Now C-Voter survey, 57, but the NDA just about able to cross the 67 mark, and in the ABP News doing even better at 72. So really, it's Puducherry which should be interesting, that sees the NDA coming to power, the BJP getting a toehold there after the government of Mr. Narayan Swamy fell. But again, this is very, very early days yet, and there is still a long way to go before the voting actually comes to an end. Let's start off with battleground West Bengal first, and let's go straight across to Derek O'Brien, senior leader of the Trinamool Congress Rajya Sabha member as well. Thank you, Derek O'Brien, for joining us. The BJP is looking at these polls and saying, firstly, polls, who believes them? And number 2, Mr. Modi has only just started his election juggernaut in West Bengal. By the end of it, the scales will have tipped even further, Derek O'Brien. To that you would say what?
Ms. Mamata Banerjee hasn't even begun her campaign. Actually, her campaign began 10 years ago, because she's been working very hard for the people of Bengal, improving health, education, bringing down the unemployment rate, MSME, agriculture, schemes like Kanya Shri, touching the lives of girls, children, not like scams like Beti Bachao, the card, the health card. There's so much of good work which has happened. Infrastructure, Bengal is -- on roads. So that's been the story for the last 10 years.
But the Modi factor,
comes
Derek
and campaigns
O'Brien,
here and makes a few more
the Modi
promises.
Factor, the Modi factor?
That's going to work to our benefit. Yeah, the Modi Shah factor has also been in operation from the last parliamentary polls. Don't go by what a Trinamool spokesperson tells you. Go by what channels tell you and psephologists tell you, and the EC tells you, I think. Because since the parliamentary elections, there have been 5 assembly elections held in various states.
Yes.
And in those 5 assembly elections, the BJP have lost vote share compared to parliament, -8% to -22%. That's been the range
Yes.
of losing vote share. in Bengal. So what has happened what has suddenly happened in the last 3 months, where that trend will change? The second thing you need to take note of is Mamata Banerjee is on the ticket. Just one more point. Mamata Banerjee is on the ticket for the chief minister. BJP have not announced their chief minister candidate because they have a problem. They have 3 BJPs: the old BJP, the new BJP, and the Trinamool C team BJP. When I last checked, Mr. Modi or Mr. Shah were not on the MLA ticket. They were not. They are not. And BJP are so sure. They are so sure about all these factors. How about announcing their list of candidates? They've done 57 out of 291.
I'm sure it's.
So listen, Mr. Sreenivasan, it's not the
one
time
second,
for big talk.
Derek O'Brien, I'm sure they will announce the candidates.
It's not the time for big talk.
Even if you welcome these opinion poll results, or you may not, you may reject or be indifferent to them, they are showing though the BJP doing very well. They're almost. Hold on. They are almost crossing 100 seats, which is a big jump. Could that indicate which way the trend is going, that the Modi factor and other factors could push them even further?
See, I have not seen these. Opinion polls because last night I was a little relaxed. So I wanted to do something more relaxed. I was watching your interview with Djokovic. I was watching the Oprah Winfrey interview because this is like relaxing with the royal couple. So who did what opinion poll? I don't even know what opinion polls you're talking about. All I do know is that in the parliament election, we were ahead by 3% lead.
Right.
All I can confirm and tell you today that we haven't looked at, I haven't looked at those polls, but our internal polls tell us, and our internal assessment, not done by Trinamool, but by professionals, there they are telling us we are comfortably more than double percentage points ahead than what we were in parliament. But we still have Mamata Banerjee who has to start her campaign, and our campaign promise is simple. Our campaign promise is what have we done in the last 10 years, and what have you delivered, promised and not delivered in the last 6.
If you're so confident, my last question to you, today we had Mamata Banerjee, she was singing some spiritual bhajans, all of that. Isn't this all indication somewhere along the line that she's nervous? She's worried that this is again an attempt to sort of out-Hinduize the BJP.
I think she put it to them very directly and clearly, so there's not shy about it. Don't throw the Hindu card at Mamata Banerjee. She'll take you and spin you around with anything you want on Hinduism. But this election is about Bengal. And this is not about Trinamool Congress winning this election. This election is about our understanding of the Constitution of India and what Modi and Shah, their interpretation of the Constitution of India. That's what is at stake.
All right, we'll have to leave it there with you, at least. Derek O'Brien, thank you so much for joining us. Let me throw it open to panel. We have with us Sanjay Kumar, sophologist, Professor CSDS. We have Manu Sundaram of the DMK with us, Kovai Satyam of the ADMK, Madhu Gaud Yakshi of the Congress. But let me start with Bhaskar Ghosh of the BJP. Bhaskar Ghosh, as they say, you huffed and puffed, but if these opinion polls suggest you may not have been able to blow down the Mamata Banerjee house just yet. Are you worried?
Yeah, first of all, Sreenivasan, let me tell you one thing. I'm really worried, not because your opinion poll result shows whatever graph increases.
Not mine, not ours, not NDTV's, just to be clear. This is Times Now and ABP conducted by Freewater. Yes, we are just putting that on screen. Yes.
This the basis of the discussion is their opinion poll, not your opinion poll. But I am worried about our Honorable MP Derek O'Brien has mentioned that whatever they have done in 10 years is going to be evaluated. Now, he has not taken lesson. Whatever is happening for last 10 years have been evaluated in 2019 Lok Sabha recently, where they have opinion poll has given not more than 5 to 6 seats, where we have got 18 seats, and in 4 seats, we are marginally lost. So, what we declared that in Dilip Ghosh, quote unquote, that 19 half, 21 finish. Now the question is, what this forthcoming Assembly election West Bengal will be coined for? It will be coined for syndicate Raj. It will be coined for the cut money. It will be coined for the Amphan. It will be coined for the health deterioration. And it will be coined for the Singur.
You may, even if one assumes,
if you clap together, you will get your answer In opinion poll, now coming back to opinion poll, from 3 seats to 107 seats. Can you show me in recent 20 years?
Anyone who's jumped that much. That's true. That's a remarkable jump if it indeed it works out. But Sanjay Kumar, the problem for the BJP, and Derek O'Brien reflected this, and we'll even put those slides up on the screen, is that it doesn't appear to be able to convert its remarkable performances in Lok Sabha into the Assembly. So, of course, if you look at it in terms of numbers of Lok Sabha into Assembly, you convert that and you look at the number there. So, 216 Assembly, 2016 Assembly elections, the BJP with this alliance party, 6 seats, jumped to leading in 121 Assembly segments in the 2019 Lok Sabha election. So, that's a massive jump. But if you look at how the BJP vote share has fallen dramatically in Assembly elections after the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, then the trend gets reversed. In Maharashtra, it fell by 9 percentage points, Haryana 22 percentage points, Jharkhand 22 percentage points again, Delhi 17 percentage points, and so on and so forth. So that is a worry for the BJP, Mr. Sanjay Kumar.
Both the facts which you have put, Sreenivasan, are right. In a sense, BJP did manage to lead in 121 assembly seats. That's a fact. That's what we saw in 2019 Lok Sabha election. It is also true that BJP's vote share has come down in many states if we compare the BJP's vote share of the Lok Sabha and the assembly election which has taken place after the Lok Sabha election. But remember, except for Delhi, these were the states where BJP was in power and they were trying to defend their own government. Whether it is Jharkhand, Haryana, Maharashtra, Delhi was an exception, and even in Delhi we saw the vote share of BJP coming down in the assembly election. The point is very clear. Prime Minister Modi's ability to pull votes for the BJP, whether it is an assembly election or a Lok Sabha election, was very high in the initial years 2014, 15, 16 till 2017. That has got a little bit of a hit. Now Prime Minister Modi's ability to pull votes for the party, irrespective of the election, whether it is an assembly election or a Lok Sabha election, that is now questionable. So yes, BJP cannot be like comfortable and confident of winning the West Bengal election. They have to be very, very cautious. It's not guaranteed that BJP is definitely going to win election because of their performance of 2019 Lok Sabha election.
And in fact, it's worth noting that even after that remarkable performance in Lok Sabha, it only took them to 120 seats, which is still short of the halfway mark. Even there, the Trinamool was ahead at 164. So you have to actually improve on the 2019 outcome, which is a big ask. But again, as we said, elections, politics, they are an unpredictable force. But Kovai Satyam, again, is there a worry that even though you've got this alliance, you've got the AIADMK, you've got the BJP throwing all its might there, the polls are suggesting that it is still going to be Stalin as the next chief minister?
Yeah, Sreenivasan, we have seen n number of polls like this in the past. I'll take this opportunity to refresh the memory of everybody. 2016, on April 1st, the same famous survey company which you are stating right now did a survey in Tamil Nadu and came out with a result stating DMK is going to form the government.
Right.
And I could see my entire opposition jumping in joy at that point of time. May 16th was the election, after a month away, and when the exit polls were out, the same 4-5 surveys said there is a high anti-incumbency in the state. DMK is going to form. May 19th was the result, and we created history by forming the government again.
Okay, but even if you say that the math of the opinion polls is wrong in terms of the coalition math, are you somewhat worried? Because just today, a crucial ally, Captain Vijaykanth, DMDK, has walked out.
No, I'm not questioning the math. If you go by any research, it should have hypothesis.
No, I'm asking now on DMDK. I'm asking on Vijaykanth.
Yeah, I'm coming to that. Today, what could have been the hypothesis? It would be like alliance, It could be like whatever the promises made. Even when both the parties are not full and final with their alliance talk and seat sharing and not with their manifesto, if somebody were to go out and ask for opinion, it's certainly bound to change.
I'm asking now on DMDK, sir,
today,
for the third time.
Out,
I have to move on otherwise.
Today DMDK walking out. Yesterday somebody would have given their opinion thinking that DMDK is with us. Today if you go and ask them, they say, oh, DMDK has walked out, then your opinion might change. Somebody will say it's an asset to AIADMK because it's a liability for you because they are not clear in their direction. So perception keeps changing less than a day in politics.
I see.
So
so you're saying, I mean, I'm guessing what you're saying, I couldn't fully understand, is you're saying it won't have an impact. Manu Sundaram, you want to respond to that? That opinion polls come and go, but EPS, ADMK confident, he's done a good job as Chief Minister, he's held the party together, he's fought off the Shashikala threat.
Well, let me just, for sake of posterity, record it here that I'm not at all jumping it with joy, because the task set by our party president, Mr. Stalin, is that the DMK and the alliance should win 200 or 234 seats, and that's what we are working towards. Of course, all exit polls and all other surveys we take with a big bag of salt, and so will we take this as well. But the question about Mr. Palanisamy and his performance, I find quite interesting, because I lay the entire responsibility of plunging Tamil Nadu into deep economic crisis at the hands of Mr. Palanisamy and Paneerselvam. And along with their great ally, the BJP, they have accelerated social crisis and eroded social harmony in Tamil Nadu. You may ask why, Sreenivasan, Jain, and I would say look at the Tamil Nadu GDP growth at an all-time low now. Unemployment is sky high. Industries are leaving the state in droves. Socially, what has happened? You've seen the Citizenship Amendment Act, the farm laws, the national eligibility and entrance test. These are actually creating deep divisions within society, and there's been no utterance from the Chief Minister as to what he will do. Now the question about Palanisamy doing better is actually needs to be understood from this perspective, that we all started at a very low baseline, that of zero. Nobody expected Palanisamy to do anything. So therefore, the fact that he's just sat in the Chief Minister's chair for X number of days or months is supposedly, being bandied by my friend as a big achievement. But ultimately, what will matter is Mr. Palanisamy and Modi. They've tried this in 2019. It did not work.
It didn't work. You're saying, okay, let's see. Let's see if it works or not. Let me first go to. No, I need to go to Mr. Madhu Gaud Yakshi of the Congress. Hasn't had a chance to speak. Now tell me, Madhu Gaudji, the fact is that even more than the BJP, whether or not they're able to retain or win West Bengal, the fact that the Congress in this entire equation appears to have actually come out the worst, because the one state which you had in the south, Puducherry, it appears from the polls you're likely to lose. In Tamil Nadu, you're the junior partner. West Bengal, you're not a player. Assam, it again looks like the BJP.
Sreenivasan, now it's very clear. It's either Congress-led alliance or BJP-led alliance. It's not that you're a junior partner in Tamil Nadu or junior partner in West Bengal. Sir, it is Rahul Gandhi who's taking on.
In Tamil Nadu, you are the junior partner, sir.
As I said, we may be junior partner there, but it is pan-India. It is only the Congress which is taking on the BJP. None of the regional parties are
Sir, I beg your pardon. How can you just say that?
The BJP
West Bengal is the Trinamool Congress, which is the primary now party there, fighting the BJP. In Tamil Nadu, it's the DMK, which is the primary force fighting the BJP.
We are thick and thin with the DMK in Tamil Nadu, good and bad days. In West Bengal, it is the ego clash between Mamata ji and Modi ji is hurting the West Bengal interest. That's where the Congress and left alliance start with the Bengal first. See the rally of left and Congress alliance.
No, sir, I'm on a wider point.
Taking serious about the
Congress.
No,
sir, I'm saying that if you look at the, if you go by these initial opinion polls, it's suggesting that the Congress is either a non-entity or at best a junior partner in a state where there could be a change of power. So you're not even a serious factor anywhere, unless you pull off a surprise in Assam.
As I said in same NDTV debate, Sreenivasan ji, in same NDTV debate, you ruled out in 2015 the BJP Congress RJD alliance in Bihar, and the polls has proven, in many cases polls have proven wrong. So if going according to the opinion polls that Congress is have a setback, which we don't believe it, so many times it had surprises you have seen yourself way back in Maharashtra to elsewhere. Puducherry, we have a clear indications that we will come back. Kerala will come back. Kerala will look at like how many parliament seats we won, 19 out of 20. So it's if you look, even if it's West Bengal, the rally, people have taken it seriously now. The huge massive rally of the left and Congress alliance.
That's
so
one thing which...
It's not that we completely ruled out our Congress is lost.
Let me just, we are running out of time. Let me just ask you, Bhaskar, that, you know, even if the Congress and the left, obviously not serious contenders in West Bengal, but the fact is that one of the reasons the BJP did so well is that you managed to get almost the entire Congress left vote. If the Congress and left starts to do even a little better, is that a problem for you? Because essentially they might be eating into your vote share.
See, you have rightly said, I was just following everyone's versions, that Congress and left in West Bengal, or Congress individually in all those 4 states, they are nothing but tail-enders. Even today, we're talking about the brigade of the Congress and the left, which has taken place. It is the statement of Adit Chaudhary, the president of Congress, that we cannot bring those number of people what has been brought by the CPM and the alliance.
No, but now if they do well, will that hurt you? If Congress left does better, does that hurt you? Because essentially you gain from their vote.
If you see the trend of the last Lok Sabha election, or even the last assembly election, let's say the Lok Sabha election, the sweep has between Congress and whatever been lost by the Congress and the CPM has gained by the BJP. In here also.
That's what I'm saying. If they do better, then ergo it will impact you.
They have no chance to do better. Where they will get the better? There's no chance to be better. They have been rejected by the people and of the people. So there's no question of better. What is happening?
Well, we'll have to wrap.
We are now gaining ground of the TMC.
We'll have to see at the moment. At the moment, as I said, the polls show that you have a tough task. But let's see. It's still a long way to go in this fascinating election battleground. Thank you all so much for joining me on Reality Check. We're completely out of time. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.